Already dealt.
I think it'd be cool to keep doing that.
Too. I think you should also do a new one for every meetup. That'd be sick.
Yeah. I really, so Clay, like he's looking for like business because he's just getting started. So like,
On my way.
okay.
We'll have some stuff for him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure I'll meet him. Is that
I know this normal, but because we're doing an audio a different way, we'll just like want to project a little bit more than normal. Like,
Okay.
I gotta get this out of the shop. My note clip.
Damn, I shouldn't have said anything. I feel bad now. But we're all... Remember the classic, like, slurping... Bro, we did, like... What did we do with Marquis way back?
I don't remember. That was season 1, bro.
Yeah. How long have we been doing this? Almost 3 years. That's crazy.
3 years. That's crazy. How many seasons? Like, what season are you on now?
We stopped counting really, but technically 3.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. Well, or technically 4.
I think from if my memory serves me right, I think it was 2. And last year, because Marquis had a baby, I got married, and life was just crazy.
Yeah.
We took kind of a break, and then the whole year went by basically, and we're like, are we still on season 2?
Yeah, I was about to say, because we recorded 46 or 47 episodes our first year from January to December. I think more December to December.
Yeah.
And then we recorded 7 in 2023 or 2024. 2024.
Yeah.
So we started December 2022.
Yeah.
And then since then, this year we've done what, 4?
Have we done 4?
Like one a month then?
We did Christian, and then
Did we some like color this year?
that was like last year.
Colin was last year?
Yeah, Colin was end of last year.
Yeah.
We do. Liv was end of last year too, right?
Yeah, because last year we didn't do one from like December of 23 till April or something like that. We took like a solid 3 or 4 months off.
Yeah.
And then we did Mike,
Liv,
yep, Carter,
Eric,
Mike.
yep,
Mike England.
He's a local cinematographer.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He's great. He's dope. Yeah, Eric, then Lucas and Colin and Christian.
Is Christian really the only one we've done this year?
I think so. That's slacking. That's curse. Yeah. But welcome. Yeah, podcast.
Nice.
And thank you for inviting us into your shop.
Yeah, dude. Dude.
Yeah. Let's just go. Like, I don't even want to say, welcome. Kriya's POV, we're back, baby. Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. You guys know who we are, I guess. Yeah. We're like old heads now.
We're about to retire like LeBron.
Yeah.
Do you think he retiring?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Dude, I'm the wrong person to ask.
Really? No sports?
Sorry, I'm a sports guy, just not NBA. It's like the old one that I get that in.
What's your sport?
I like NFL and big Vikings fan, but UFC is like probably my...
So you this week? Yeah.
Okay.
Exciting.
Main event is Corey Sandhagen and Davison Figueiredo.
Yeah. Is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty big match for Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah. I'm kind of bummed though. Marlon Cheeto Vera, he was supposed to be on the card, and they moved it, and I think it was because they were putting Bo Nickel on the card. So it was like a wrestling collection. Yeah. So a little bummed about that. He's like one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah.
But
Where are you start?
we're like on the floor in the corner, like 13 rows back.
Dang. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it goes. Like, I don't know what to expect with it being like in the corner like that. Or it's either going to be really good or really...
Have you been to a fight before?
Yeah, I've been twice.
Okay.
Yeah. They were both pay-per-views, so I was way further back though. Sure. I've never sat this close.
Yeah.
Tickets are pretty wild to pay-per-view fights.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was talking to a friend of mine. He's had his tickets for a bit, but he's like, dude, I paid $120. I'm married. I got kids, and we're sitting in the nosebleeds. So I was like, I wonder what floor seats go for then.
Yeah.
couple grand or
No, I mean,
maybe $8,000?
no. Well, now they probably are. The resale market's out DJs, but I think when we bought ours, they're like $300.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
That's worth going to.
yeah. I mean, if I was trying to resell them, it'd be a pretty good return on investment.
No kidding.
But
That's sick. One of my like classmates in middle school is like an upcoming UFC fighter.
no way.
Yeah, his name's Michael Boylan.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've come across his Instagram page before. I don't know who he is, but
Yeah. I think he's like undefeated too. So
damn,
yeah, he's one day I hope to see him like in there.
that's sick.
Like on TV, you know? Like I think technically I don't know if he is like a UFC fighter. Like I don't know how it works. Like what qualifies you to do that, but
Well, I think so. You go through like the regional circuit, and then if you like start accumulating wins and you're getting finishes and things like that, you'll get recognized, and then you'll get like your pro, like you'll go pro,
yeah.
and then you're still fighting on the regional circuit, but now you're pro, and it counts towards like your pro record. And then eventually, if you get noticed and you have like enough crazy finishes and stuff, someone will pick you up. Hopefully,
Wow.
yeah. I trained for a little bit,
You did?
kinda, and I mean, not really, but I did for like 4 months. I just wanted to like try something new. Just I was like bored of my exercise routine and wanted to switch it up, and so I started doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, my old youth pastor did jujitsu like seriously. Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, I'm like mad respects. I feel like I'm gonna reach a point in my life, like mid-30s, where I'm gonna be like, I just gotta learn to fight somebody. You know,
It's just like that's what you can.
exactly. Just like I feel like it's like a man's rite of passage. Be like, I gotta pick up boxing for 9 months and then be like, all right,
Yeah. Well, dude, I was not good at all. Like I would get shown up by 17-year-old kids in the gym, like left and right.
yeah,
But like just the 4 months that I did it, I like walked around a little bit, like a little bit more, like just, I don't know, just builds confidence. Like, like I said, was not even good, but just like going through it, you just feel more confident the way you move through the world as well. Interesting feeling for sure.
Yeah.
that's sick.
Did you guys know that there was like a pro boxer that works at Northern Vessel?
No way.
Yeah.
Haunted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Antonio. Yeah.
That makes sense.
He's like a real deal boxer.
No.
He has I just like started to get to know him, but he's got matches like all over the country.
Dang.
So yeah, fun fact for you.
Super. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to, once I like officially meet him, I'm excited to pick his brain about that a little bit.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
I don't know anything about it, but it is like crazy. Like he went to like Lincoln High School, so he's from Des Moines.
Cool.
But yeah, and now he's just like picking up some shifts in Northern Vessel, but like between fights and stuff. So it's crazy.
That's cool. Love it.
I should probably introduce you though.
Yeah. So we got the homie Keagan Weiderin, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
I was about to say, don't mess this up.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like,
You and on this reps in.
yes. So Keagan is a barber here in Des Moines, Iowa, and an entrepreneur. And we're currently not in our studio, obviously. We're sitting in his barbershop.
Yep.
Good Company. And yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited about this. First and foremost.
First one too, right?
Yes, sir.
Podcast.
First podcast ever.
Are you nervous at all?
A little bit. I tried to just like not think about it all day long and just like, so like I said it before we got on, but just speak more authentically when I'm like not thinking about forecasting like conversations that are about to happen. So I've remained like not very nervous all day, thankfully. But
Yeah.
Well, tell the people a little bit about yourself. You're now, business owner in Good Company. Tell us a little bit about your story and getting here.
Getting to like business at like a big ass place. Well, I've been a barber for almost 9 years now, going on 9 years. I worked at Paramount Barbering in the East Village for pretty much that whole time. Once I got out of barber school, I started there. Jordan Peterson, he's the guy who owns Paramount.
Yep.
I was his client actually. Well, he was at the barbershop that he started at. And I just thought the profession was like super dope. I started going to the barber for the first time. I grew up getting terrible haircuts, by the way. Like grew up in a small town, going to like my mom's salon. I hated getting
Your mom? Was
No. The salon that she went to get her haircut. Like, same. She was friends with every cosmetologist in the city. So I was, city, the town.
where are you originally from?
Carroll.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just like grew up getting haircuts that I hated 24/7, like young skate rat kid. So I already didn't like getting haircuts. And I got out on my own, and I was like still going back home to the lady that like messed my hair up the least. I was like, she doesn't make me hate it. Like, I'm going to keep going back to her.
Sure.
So I started doing that, and I got to a point, like once I moved to Des Moines, I was like, I can't keep driving an hour, 45 minutes to get a haircut that I don't even love. But that's when I like started looking for a barber, and I came across Jordan's Instagram page, started getting cut by him, and just kind of like fell in love with really the lifestyle more than anything. I didn't know anything about it. Just like seeing it from the outside looking in, it just really appealed to me. Everybody had tattoos, and like Jordan, he played in a band. I was playing in a band at the time. So like, I thought that was super cool. It's like, man, I think I might be able to do this if I really like try. So started picking his brain. He told me where he went to school. I toured the school, started school, maintained a relationship with him throughout barber school. And then I was lucky enough when I was about to graduate, he offered me a chair at Paramount, and I started there.
Wow.
Yeah. I worked there for, like I said, 8 years. And then about a year ago, right around this time, I kind of started thinking like, I want to go out on my own. And I approached Paul about it, and him and I talked about the possibility of opening a shop together, and like it just seemed like a good fit. And before we knew it, like we were meeting, signing a lease, and getting things rolling. It's kind of crazy.
That's probably the busiest corner in Des Moines.
For real. Northern Vessel helps next door, but yeah.
Dude, like that time was around the time that I feel like I probably met you. Like,
Yeah.
I met you through Paramount.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, you're getting cut by Tyson. I remember it. You came in and got cut, and I had recognized you from NV.
Yeah.
And I said, what's up? And
Yeah.
let you know that we were moving in next door. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, that's crazy, man. That was like a year ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're coming up on a year in June.
Dang.
Dude, it happened so fast, too. It's
Yeah.
really unexpected. Just like, next thing you know, you're just like in it, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to us a little bit about out of barber school, you get offered a chair. For people that don't know, what's the process of not just becoming a barber where it's like, okay, I have the skills to cut people's hair. How do you make money doing it at a business where you have your own chair?
Well, I mean, I was really lucky. I came into a really good situation. Jordan runs an incredible business over there. Everybody's like booked all the time.
Yeah.
And they were all so big. I mean, Jordan's out like 2 months at a time.
Dang.
And so, luckily, a lot of the clientele that I started with in the beginning were just people coming into the shop that couldn't get in with anybody else. And so I built a clientele off of just like the overflow of the other barbers in the shop, which was like just an insane opportunity for somebody straight out of school, especially for somebody that's not from here.
Yeah.
Not from far, but like I don't have a ton of friends in the area, or at the time I didn't have a ton of friends in the area. So yeah, I just kind of like built it off the back of the shop. And at the end of the day, you gotta retain them. You gotta like provide a good enough service and like customer service, bringing people back, and like make those connections and those relationships with people over time. But that's really what it's about more than anything. It's just building relationships with people and just making those connections.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So from there, you and Paul decided to branch out, start Good Company, bring Ryan. If you, or how did that?
So Paul and I worked together at Paramount.
Okay.
That's actually how I met Paul. I was in barber school. Paul came into the school to do like Con Ed or something.
Cool.
And he knew that I was connected to Jordan. And I think he probably knew at the time that Jordan was gonna offer me a chair there. I didn't know it yet. So Paul came up, introduced himself. That's where we met. And then we like kind of built a friendship over the years, like working at Paramount. And then, so I kind of got the itch to do it. I was at a spot in life where I was just kind of like struggling mentally and just not super stoked. And it's not anything like about where I was at. It was just, I mean, I could have stayed there forever and just like kept cutting and like I had a solid clientele. I never had to worry about anything. But I think that was the thing that like left me not feeling very content at the time, was the fact that I'm like, okay, this is great. I'm like in a great situation, but where do I go from here? And I asked myself that over and over and over again. And like, there were times where I was like, I would daydream about doing something else. And then I like kind of snap out of it. I'm like, no, this is like, I get to do like everything I want to do. Like, this is awesome. I'm good at this. I enjoy the relationships. Like, this is great. But I was looking for something else. And that's when I approached Paul. I was like, hey man, I'm just like, I'm not feeling great about like where I'm at right now. It's nothing to do with Paramount or where I'm at. It's just, I need something more. And I'm thinking about doing this. Am I crazy? And then Paul's like, no, you're not crazy. I've actually been kind of feeling the same way. And then one thing led to another. And then we were just, like I said before, like it just happened so fast. Like before we knew it, we're just in it.
Yeah.
And then, so to answer your question about Ryan, Paul and I worked together. And then when we decided we were going to do this, we're like, okay, well, we got to fill the other 2 chairs and figure out who we're going to get. But we didn't want to rush her. And so we're just like, well, something will pop up. Like someone will like come to us. We'll just let it happen. And like literally that night, we both get followed on Instagram by Ryan. And Paul calls me and he's like, hey, did this dude just followed me? He looks like he's a barber. Do you know who he is? It's like, no, but he just followed me. So Paul's like, I'm going to reach out to him. So Paul messages Ryan, and then, yeah, that's how we met Ryan.
Sick.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So how do you start a barbershop from nothing? You know, like how did you guys go about it?
It's a good question. I did not know the answer to that when we started. I just kind of started doing it. So first, like, I've always loved this building. In fact, I would drive past here. Like, I used to live on the south side, so I'd come up Southwest 9th, Alderserve, and I'd drive past here, like, be like, oh man, that spot would be so cool if somebody like made that building nice. And so yeah, that's what came first. Actually, I asked TJ. I can't remember exactly how it happened, but somehow or another, I found out there was a spot available here. I asked TJ about it, and he was nice enough to come up and show it to me. And so I reached out about the space. So we had space, like we knew we wanted to be in this building. And then from there, it was just like pulling everything together and just like Googling ChatGPT, like how to start a barbershop. So yeah, LLC, you got to like make it all legit and everything. And yeah, it's a good question. I don't know.
That's still figuring it out. Yeah. That's sick. I feel like a lot of people think business owners, like I would say based on what you've said so far, people measure success differently. But like from an outside perspective, people would be like, if you're not scraping by, the skin of your teeth or whatever, like you're pretty successful, where you have now 3 with an apprentice. Is that what his title is?
Yeah.
Or intern? Or yeah. So you have 3 chairs with an apprentice and a clientele, and people are booked and on a busy corner, it's buzzing. There's noise happening around here. People would say that's successful. Sometimes people think they just knew how to do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't know how to start a hat company. You didn't know how to start, not just being a photographer, but like being a successful entrepreneur and getting people to, book you for photo shoots. It's like, you just figure it out. You just start, like, not to overuse the phrase fake it till you make it, but nobody really has all the answers. But if you're willing to learn, then you're probably going to set yourself up for success.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I definitely fell into that like mindset of like, oh man, I have to figure out how to put all these pieces together before I do it, before I start. And like after doing it, it's just, if I could give one message to people, it's just start. Like you don't have to know how to do everything. Just like literally one foot in front of the other and just go, just do it. And then you figure out like, throw yourself to the fire and just like find out,
Yeah.
it's kind of like the paralysis by analysis. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like trying to solve the puzzle before you get started. It's just, I need it. I'm the type of person where I have to learn by doing.
Yeah. Dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is like the most important part of starting a business? Like, in your opinion, like what is the one thing that's like, you recommend, like, do this first? Obviously it's different for everybody, but for you.
Man, that's such a good question. I don't I'm honestly not sure. I don't know what advice I would give for that. I'll have to ponder that one.
Here, yeah, think about that. But also, where did the name Good Company get inspired from? And like, how did you guys land on that name? Because I think finding the name to your business or brand or whatever is a very hard thing to do.
You know what? That follow-up question there actually like kind of gave me the answer to your previous question.
Yeah.
So let me start there.
Yeah.
The most important thing about starting a business, I think, and is just create something that like you want to provide to your community, to the world. You know what I mean? Like we didn't do this to make a bunch of money. In fact, like barbershops are kind of known for like not making a ton of money. So it's definitely not why we got into it. We got into it to create something and create something that like we were really proud of and like really resonated with us, but something that we could share that with other people that would resonate with other people. And so, yeah, what was your second question?
Where did the name come from?
Oh, yes. So yeah, when I talk about like building that like community or building that atmosphere, like we just wanted to build relationships, new relationships, and like really just build a community of people that like resonated with what we were doing and people that we wanted to connect with and just wanted to find ourselves in good company. And
Yeah.
that's kind of how
I like it a lot, man.
Yeah. Dude, that's so sick.
yeah. My wife actually is like the one who kind of came up with it. She was like, I don't even remember. We were in the car and she's like, good like, cause I had said something about like good company and it didn't even like register. And then I was like, good company. Oh my God. And then you like backtrack it. You're like, oh my God, it's like exactly with like what we're trying to build. Like this is perfect. And so I texted Paul right away. And I think at first he was like, I like it, but I'm not like, it's a big decision. Like let's sleep on it. Yeah. And then I talked to Paul a couple of days later and he's like, dude, I love it. That's it. And so, yeah.
Were there any names that were close that didn't make the cut? Like, no?
No.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed to share some of the ones that like were floating around in my head, but nothing that like stuck enough to where we were actually contemplating it.
Yeah. So then like, okay, you come up with the name, you're probably figuring out like the LLC and stuff, like all the legal stuff, like, and, you know, getting the space. And then, you know, now you're probably thinking about, okay, like we need a logo. We need like, you know, a brand identity, like all that stuff. And you worked with Precious. Mm-hmm. So like, how did that connection come about?
Kind of crazy again. Like I didn't know Seth before and I didn't know about Precious before. And we were like that. I feel like I have, I'm very particular about things and I feel like I have an eye for that kind of thing, like building an aesthetic and building like, I hate this word, but like building a vibe, so to speak, you know? And I was like, okay, we have to like, that's really important. Like we really have to build a brand here, not just a barbershop. And so we reached out to a client of mine who does like graphic design work, but they're typically in the food space, like packaging and things like that. They're very good at what they do, but it was the only person I knew that did that. And we kind of got into it with them and they're great, but something felt a little off about it. Like what they didn't necessarily like line up with what we were trying to do. And randomly I came across like a post, like I think on my Discover page, cause I had been looking up like graphic designers and stuff, and a post from Precious popped up and it jumped out at me and I clicked it and went to their page and I was like scrolling through their page and realized they were not only in Des Moines, but in the same building that we were moving into. I was like, this is crazy. Like, what are the odds of that? So immediately called Paul. I was like, dude, check these guys out. What do you think? And he's like, yes, like we need to go with them for sure. And so reached out to Seth and the rest is history.
Yeah, that's awesome. How long did that whole process take for you guys to create all that?
Dude, it felt like an eternity in the moment, but it was so fast looking back on it. Like from the time I remember specifically when I first approached Paul about like, am I crazy for wanting to do this? We were like, it was cold. It was like the end of January, beginning of February, like on the street corner. It was like, we were leaving work together. I was like, hey, like, is this nuts? From that conversation to opening, like, so that conversation happened beginning of February. We started here, cut our first day here together on like June 12th. So part of that was like finding the space and then everything else. But from the time we signed the lease to the time we opened, it was like March to June. So it happened quick.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
4 months is crazy, but also like, it's crazy that like everything just managed to line up. And I think that's the power of collaboration and like the willingness to put yourself out there, to let people, like, you had a good idea that people saw the vision for, but also you're like, got other people involved. And it's like, that's kind of the unique community that Des Moines and just like this corner has, because this corner is busy, but with the right community. Like, you got Northern Vesta, you got Good Co, you got Precious, you got Creative Co, you got Now, you know, you just have so many. There is a salon upstairs. I don't know their names or anything.
But Fathom.
Yeah. You have a busy corner that is just doing a lot of cool things. And I think that's the power of just like knowing the community that you can like choose from and like kind of get into, and people are just willing to do good work for a good vision, like whenever it's a worthy cause.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very like, I don't know, I get this like grassroots, like kind of like artistic, like Renaissance vibe about this whole area. And part of that, like, too, like the creative meetups, the first Friday of every month, like going in there, just the people, like, you can feel it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it sounds kind of corny, but like you can kind of feel it.
It's infectious. I was a little, because I hadn't been to the creative meetup for the first one, might have been the first two.
Yeah.
And the third one, I was just like, because we had battled like the creative meetup, like, should it be bigger than what it is? Should it be like, should we offer something? Should it be like an art show? Should we have like live music? Because I think we landed on, we wanted it to be an experience that people felt they got value from. And then we just realized we needed to strip it down. The value was just a community. And that was like enough to start. And whenever I came for the first time, I was like, my heart just like swelled up. I was like, dang, like people showed up. People I've never even met, never even like have seen their face on Instagram. And they're like, yeah, we listen to your podcast. What? This is crazy to think about. But like, it is like when people catch on to a good thing, like it is the energy that people like really catch on to.
For sure. Like, it's very raw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's a good thing that you guys didn't try to do too much with that, you know, just like keeping it that very, like I said, just raw, you know. I think it resonates with people.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of big events out there already too, that like, you know, they have vendors and all sorts of things. But yeah, I think this was more like rooted in like coffee and conversations with fellow creatives. Like, pretty simple.
Yeah. Basically what we do on the podcast, just for anybody, is that's how the podcast started. Was like, we're having candid conversations. We should start recording them. We should bring people in to hear their story, to give them a platform and be like, other people are like, oh, hey, I've seen him around. I don't know what he does. That was probably half of our guests the first year. I'm like, I've seen this dude, and I was like, oh, we need to have this person on the podcast. And I just trust you. I was like, if no one knows of him, this is probably a good way to buy in. So that's just what it's grown into, just people connecting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I met Eric from Big Pluto.
Yeah.
I saw him on your guys' podcast. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I think you guys posted a clip or something. I was like, this guy seems cool. This guy seems interesting. So I listened to like a portion of that episode, and then like running into him I actually won like one of his free like merch drops on Instagram. Oh yeah. So and like, I was at ME one day. He's like, hey, I think you won like the hoodie. I was like, yeah. And so we introduced each other. We got introduced, and just like a lot of that's happening, like just in this little 1 block radius, you know. It's awesome.
It's crazy. It really is crazy to see. So what are some like goals or practical things that you like really want to do with Good Co or Good Company, and what you see happening in 2025 moving forward? You guys are coming up on a year. talk to us about like how the journey's been, what you kind of see happening. You have an intern, apprentice, likely going to fill that fourth chair, all the perks of a growing business, it seems.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess right now that's like kind of the immediate goal is just get Ryan and Kai as booked as possible, as fast as possible, and just really build them up and build Kai's skills up and really just kind of like hone in on like the team, like building a team. In barbering, there's a lot of turnover in shops and people are jumping around and things like that. Luckily, it doesn't happen a ton in Des Moines, but just in the industry as a whole, that happens. And so really just focusing on like building a culture amongst the team and amongst our clients and continuing like leaning into like the branding and things like that. And then the other big thing that we really want to do is just like education, just like educate ourselves and just keep getting better. Once you stop learning, like you're kind of screwed in this industry. Like everything changes so much. People said that to me when I first got into barbering. I was like, it just kind of like rolled off a little bit, like in one ear, out the other.
I mean, hair, how hard can it be?
Yeah, I'd probably have that's the assumption for sure. And man, it changes a lot, and there's always more to learn. Like I get humbled every single day. There's always something where I'm like, oh, like I haven't come across that before, or like, oh, like I know how to do this, but I know there's a way that I can do it better, or do it more efficiently, or create a slightly different finish, like a different look, like make something look a little like more feathery, or there's always more to learn.
Yeah.
And so we really want to lean into that too, and just like continue the education, continue growing, and sort of see where that takes us.
Yeah. So
eventually I would really like to like grow it even more,
Yeah.
Whether that just be like expanding what we have existing or other locations, or I don't know. That's way down the road. I'm just right now, like I said, just putting one foot in front of the other and just trying to like grow what we got,
Yeah. You mentioned how Jordan was like a big mentor to you early on.
Yeah.
Like, is there any other like mentors that you've had over time, or like any barbers that have inspired you and like how you like to, cut hair?
Oh, tons. For like the first big mentor I had was obviously, like you said, Jordan. My buddy Luis, shout out Luis. He owns Dreamers Roosevelt Barbershop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we worked together. We worked next to each other at Paramount for pretty much the entire time. I learned a lot from Luis. A lot. Like he's probably like, him and Jordan are like top two Mount Rushmore, like biggest inspirations when it comes to like cutting hair. But dude, Instagram's full of killers. Instagram is just, you scroll through and everybody is just like so legit now. So I take inspiration from a ton of those guys on Instagram. But for a while, I stopped following all the barbers on Instagram. Like I unfollowed everybody related to barbering. Like I just couldn't take it anymore. Barbering overload. And so I just like needed to disconnect from it. And during that time, a lot of the inspiration I pulled from was just working next to Luis.
Yeah. So when you're like scrolling through Instagram or whatever, like what are some of the new trends or like new things in the barber industry that are like really relevant right now?
Just being extremely well-rounded is like the thing. Like when I first started barbering, like we could kind of set ourselves apart like locally, because no disrespect, but at the time, like not a lot of the barbers in the city could really cut the top very well, which sounds so insane that you can like just do half of a haircut really well and then the other half you can't. But that's really how it was. Like, I don't know if it was because we all went to the same school. So I don't know if it was just like a lack of education. Also, Instagram was like, barbering Instagram was like very new still. So there wasn't a lot of that.
What year was this?
2016. Okay. Yeah, 2015 when I was in school. And then like by the time I started Paramount, like that was kind of where the industry was at. But now, dude, like everybody is just so good online. Like being able to cut long hair, and there's people doing color and like designs, and like everybody can do everything really, really well now. So I'd say that it's kind of it. It's like the trends are always going to change. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, right now, just everybody's just leveled up. And I think that's not just barbering either. Like I grew up skateboarding. To see like kids on Instagram, some of the stuff they do on a skateboard is crazy. Like I can't even fathom it. I literally will sit there and watch a trick and just break it down in my brain, and I literally like short circuit.
Yeah.
And it's just like a testament to like what the internet has done. Like it's just, you can see anything from anywhere in the world, and like you can get as good as you want at something, like just by watching and learning and being dedicated to whatever your craft is or whatever it is you're trying to do.
100%.
Yeah. So what else are you into outside of like, you know, being a barber? What are some other hobbies or interests that you had?
Yeah, I'm a big sports fan. We talked about that earlier too. But in terms of like hobbies, like I really got into cooking during COVID.
Yeah.
We talked about that too, but that's I love to cook. That's like one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Sports fan, cooking, and then I really have gotten into like streetwear and like men's fashion and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's another big interest of mine.
Dude, all the fit checks that you post on Instagram are fire, bro.
I appreciate it. It's fun as a problem. It makes me spend way too much money.
Yeah.
Like I want so badly to not be like bought into like this materialistic like society that we live in, but I totally am.
I think it's so different as in like playing the part and becoming part of the culture, because like I know some people who have amazing fashion and they shop, you know, clearance racks and like stuff like that. That's great. Then other people that just buy really expensive stuff just because it's expensive. I'm like, bro,
Like the classic like Versace shirt.
yeah, like I thought so. Sorry, dude, I had some New Balance 997s a month ago by being bored and going through Nordstrom Rack, and I found them in the women's section, and they're women's size 13, so men's size 11s, and they're $30. So I'm like,
Steal.
great, yeah, they're $180 on any rack that you'll go to any shoe store. But I'm like, find stuff that you like to wear. Maybe that's relevant, maybe it's not. People, you know, it's the circle of what's trending and what's not, you know, like Sambas were trendy 20 years ago. They're coming back now, you know. Vans, we were just talking about, you're like, dude, I need to get another pair of Vans, you know, bro.
Bro, I remember my first pair of Vans.
I had a Vans addiction when I was in school and college.
They're so affordable too. Like,
Yeah, that's the best part. It's like we talked about this at the beginning too, but like this pair, I was like, man, I think I want to get another pair of Vans.
Yeah.
Emily, my wife, was like kind of like laughed at me for it, and I was like, you can't go wrong. Like they're gonna be around forever.
Yeah.
And because they're only $50, you know,
Yeah.
I can get a pair, trash them, they go get a pair in 2 weeks and not feel that bad about it. You know,
Yeah.
like I spend $50 going out to eat.
I don't think anybody, I mean, like, white Chuck Taylors will never go out of style, you know? Like, I don't think anybody's going to clown anybody for wearing Vans.
No.
But, like, I get clowned every now and then for still wearing the Yeezys. I'm like, I don't care. They haven't broken off my feet yet, and I paid $150 for them. I'm going to run them into the ground.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wash them, but, like, you know.
Dude, sneaker culture is like that though. Like sneaker culture is kind of toxic. I'm not.
It is. Yeah, for real.
That's another thing I'm into. I love like I have way too many shoes. It's not even funny, but one thing that I've learned is like just rock what you like.
Yeah.
Don't buy in. Like I've fallen into the trap too. Like I'll buy a shoe that I probably won't really wear that much, and then I check StockX after I've already purchased the shoe just to see like what are these going for.
Yeah.
To see, because it's a general representation of like how much other people like them.
Right.
And I'm like, oh man, these aren't reselling as well as I thought they're not. And I don't even have.
And then people, and then you're gonna be like, oh, people are gonna think I'm as cool because they're only going for 400 and
Well,
you know, it's just a game.
Yeah, for me, it's not necessarily that. It's more just like the chase of having something rare.
Yeah,
Like having the thing that not everybody can have.
Yeah, we talked about that whenever the last Travis, like the Velvet Browns, whenever they upped the stock by 6 times what the last ones were, or something like that. So it's like, you know, anybody can get them now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and it makes them less like, that's when things start to, that's why like Yeezy, well, aside from, I mean, Kanye's lost his mind, but
Yeah.
like
But anyone
could get a pair.
Yeah,
know?
yeah. He partnered with a Gap or whatever and stuff like that. So it's like you could walk into a Ross or a Marshalls and you'd find a pair for $8.
Yeah.
So like,
I remember seeing those videos on Instagram, just like clearance rack Yeezys. I'm like, a year ago, they're $400. Yeah.
Man. Okay, there was one time a couple years ago, like he dropped it was like the Yeezy Gap coat. They had a black one and they had a red one and a blue one, I think. And like I remember seeing it everywhere, like it was blowing up. And I remember like I was like, oh my gosh, like at the time I don't think I really had like, I think I was maybe like settled into my first year of my job and I was like, I can actually buy something like this now. And like, I was like really fighting the urge to do it. And I remember, you had to like get early access to their website and stuff. And I remember I'm on the website, like the Yeezy website or whatever, and the coat is right there. And like, I see the price tag on it.
Well, for retail,
it was maybe like 200, which like isn't bad, like retail, especially for like a Yeezy item
or just a coat in general.
Yeah,
coats are expensive.
And so like I remember I sat there forever, and the timer's going down. Like you have to check out before 5 minutes is up, and I remember sitting here. And then I didn't buy it, and I'm honestly glad that I did not buy it. It's like, dude, at the time, bro, like, it was when he was doing those, like, listening parties, like the Nyanda listening parties, and that's what he had on. He had, like, the mask on, the black version of the coat, and it was so sick, but I'm just glad I don't have it, because thinking about it now, it's like, I don't see anybody wearing that. I would not wear that.
Well, it's like, sure.
Yeah.
I don't know where that whole thing started, but it doesn't fit. Like the shape of some of these things are just absurd. Yeah. And it like almost got to a point where it's like, how crazy can we get? And like, that's what made
the red boots, dog.
Yes.
Yeah. They started going for what? Like upwards of $1,000 for a minute. And now people are like, I'll give you $20. I'm not wearing them.
I'll give you $20 to take them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. Yep. I feel like it all started back in like 2013 or 14, like when he started with Adidas, and it was like the Ultra Boost he like made really popular, and then because he's wearing those a lot, that turned into the first 350.
Yeah.
And then like Jerry Lorenzo was doing stuff.
I like that shoe, by the way.
Which one?
The 350s.
Oh, the 350s.
I've never liked them.
Yeah. I've never owned a pair before.
Well, I haven't either, but just like the look of them, I don't like it.
Dude, remember the turtle doves? Like, oh yeah, that was such a moment in time for like fashion and sneaker culture.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's kind of when all the crazy stuff started happening. Like Life of Pablo was like a new album, and like, yeah, even like the Red October, like Nike Yeezys back then.
See, I didn't find out about any of that stuff until well after the fact. Like, I didn't get into that I was like way late to the game on shoes. I was like Vans till I die. Like I said, skater kid. Like I kind of like I didn't like shit on sneaker heads or like sneaker culture, but it was not my thing. And like, I was very open about it not being my thing.
Yeah.
Grew up skateboarding and, like the SBs and stuff, like the sneaker culture and like skateboarding have always kind of like gone hand in hand because of the SBs.
Yeah.
And I was always like against it. I was too cool for it. I was like, I'm not paying like ridiculous resale prices for shoes.
Yeah.
And then ironically, I was on vacation and I went into a sneaker store and got a pair of Yeezys. Yeah. The Wave Runners, the radio. Yeah. And then that is what sparked it. And then from that point on, it's just been like a problem.
Yeah.
An absolute problem.
Yeah.
I've always liked shoes though. I've always like bought way too many pairs of shoes. But it was always just like general release skate shoes. It was never in or Vans. I had every color of like these Authentics that they ever made. Yeah. But yeah, sneaker culture came a little bit later.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I'd be broke by now.
What was the last shoe that you copped like from a draw?
Action Bronson, New Balance, the 990 V6 that just came out. Yeah. We got both of the colorways of that. The other one, the pink ones are coming in this weekend. Pretty up about that.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Shout out Brandon.
Yeah, at Brandon Mayer. You cut him, right? And yeah, dude, that's so crazy. Did you ever listen to the episode we did with him?
I haven't listened to it. I saw you guys did one, and I asked him about it, and I need to go back and listen to it. Brandon's such a cool dude.
Yeah. Because I think,
Wild story too.
dude, we talked about some of those. I think we talked about maybe like the New Balance or something, and then we ended up
We had to cut it out because they weren't
They hadn't released yet. Yeah.
I don't think it was this collection. I think it was like a collection and go or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah,
I remember Daisy that.
I've been cutting Brandon's hair since I think he was in high school. I think he went to Norwalk.
Yep.
He came and got a cut at the shop at Paramount, and man, I remember, I healed Brandon. I gave him not a great haircut. And it wasn't that it was like a really, really bad haircut. It was just like, I knew immediately afterwards it was not what he wanted. And I was so early in my career that was like the hardest part of like getting started at barbering, is learning to ask the right questions to extract the information you need to give somebody what they want. Because those people that sit in the chair don't know the terminology. They don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Here, make it look like this.
Photos are great, but half the time, especially back then, people did think to like I said, it was kind of new to Instagram.
Yeah.
So people didn't just have cool, trendy people to show a photo of. And so, yeah, thanks. Shout out Brandon for rocking with me all these years. Because in the beginning it was not good, and now we got it dialed in. But yeah, I appreciate it that you rocked with me all this time.
Talk more about that. Early on, when you're new to cutting hair, do you have any horror stories or any moments that you think got gone and you're just like, damn, what did I do?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, none of them were too bad. I don't know. I don't want to sound full of myself. I got pretty good in school to where I was fairly confident going into a shop and putting out decent or good quality haircuts. But like I said, the communication thing was huge. So the one thing that jumps out to me at the beginning was I trimmed this dude's beard, and I thought it went okay. He didn't really let on that it was terrible, but he roasted me in the reviews. Just gave me a terrible review. To this day, it's one of the 4 1-star reviews that I ever got. It was not that what I did was bad. It was just not what he wanted. Yeah. So it was a hard lesson I had to learn. I was glad that in hindsight, I'm glad that I got that, but man, that bad review messed me up for days.
Would you rather have someone tell you straight up in person,
for sure?
Because
it's awkward, but for sure.
It's okay, kind of get your look, you show them all sides, what do you think? And then, yeah, you would rather have someone just tell you straight up.
Yeah, because most people think that if it's not exactly how they want, or they see a mistake in their eyes or something, they think that that's you can't do anything else, or if you do, it's going to be a way shorter, way different version of what they wanted.
Yeah.
But most things could be fixed. The beard trim that I was referencing, I know what happened. It was just I got him again. Early days of barbering on Instagram. So the thing that was hot was super crispy, beard lines, sharp, edged up, shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I gave him. And he wanted it more natural. So I made his lines super crispy and faded in the sides. And I think he just wanted a more natural, rugged kind of look. So had he told me that, I mean, pretty hard to make it not crispy anymore, but I could have changed some things up to make it a little bit more. I
blurred the edge a little.
Yeah. I could have done something. But yeah.
Who cut your hair?
Luis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And what's the style that you're going for right now?
Oh, dude, I'm growing out this shaggy mullet kind of shag thing.
Yeah. Or how you're going with the back of yours right now. Yeah. Instead of going super short.
Yeah. Tyson, he was asking me for a while, what do you think, Noah? Are you gonna switch it up ever, or are you just gonna keep rocking the same
a swoop?
He got your head.
He kept on because I was I don't know what else I would do, because to give you a history lesson on my hair,
Hold the bone, dog.
growing up, when I was very young, I just had the old Justin Bieber baby swoop,
Oh yeah,
everybody had that, the surfer. Yeah, you just flick your hair and you get a massive kink in your neck, bro. And then
did you have it? Oh yeah.
Dude, as much as my conservative, stingy mom would let me.
Yeah.
And
Like you could have it, but it couldn't like touch your eyebrows.
yeah, it worked so dumb.
That's always like a hilarious rule that like moms have for their kids' haircuts, like above the eyebrows. Yeah. I guess I kind of
Don't touch the collar, off the ears, off the eyebrows.
Well, these kids with this broccoli cut nowadays, it's getting out of hand. Dude. They like want it to like pair. It's
I don't understand. Yeah. Even I clown the kids at church now. I'm like, bro, you're not pulling with that.
Bro, I got 2 younger brothers, so like they talk to me about like what they want in their haircut too. And one of my brothers, he wanted the broccoli cut for the longest time. But
I love calling it the broccoli cut, by the way.
yeah, same.
Take some down peg.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad he never got it because I kept trying to tell him, man, like, don't do it. Don't do it. But okay, I had the like Justin Bieber swoop. Then I started like my mom started spiking my hair up with like gel. And my mom cut my hair growing up.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Was she like, did she cut hair professionally, or she was just like,
It's like she did a decent job.
kitchen cuts?
Kitchen cuts, literally. Like that should be a podcast or something, man. If that ain't already,
It's got a ring to it.
yeah. But like, so we did that. That was like kind of maybe like coming out of elementary school into middle school, and then like, dude, I started getting a lot of hate, bro. Like people started calling me gay for that.
Oh no!
And
For your spike in your hair?
yeah. And then
Logic.
I'm 24.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Hold on. So I also wore glasses, and then because people were calling me that, like I told my mom, like, hey, like I need to get like my hair cut. So then she started taking me to her salon, which it's not the same, man.
Right.
It's not. You would tell them like a bald fade, but they can't, so it's like, I gotta show you.
It's a low taper fade.
Yeah. But they gave me a hard line too. So I did that.
That hard part, like shaved it?
Yeah, like shaved in, but it was, I don't know if it was.
So John style, like at a salon.
Yes. Yeah. It was probably not done like the proper way, but that was like going from middle school into high school. And then thank God that Tyson went to school with me, and I heard about him cutting hair and
He was cutting like, yeah.
and this, yeah.
Man, I remember like seeing his page on Instagram, like when he was still in high school. I don't think I've ever told this. He probably doesn't know this, but yeah. Man, he was like, we're like, man, who is this kid? He knows how to cut this good in his bedroom. Like, this kid's going to be a beast.
Yeah.
And then he went to school, and now he is, in fact, a beast. But
Yeah.
like all of us, like licensed barbers would like talk about how cold he was
Yeah.
before he ever even like went to barber school or anything.
Yo.
So yeah, Tyson's legit.
He's awesome, man. Shout out Tyson.
Sarah.
So yeah, now long story short, I'm just switching it up because like I'm always like very hesitant to do that, but life's like too short, man. Like you can try something new and then change your mind.
Yeah, I know.
3 months, it's just gonna grow back out.
And I think that can apply like anything in life. Like start, just like you said earlier, just start, try something new. And like, if you need to change your mind, change your mind.
Absolutely. I don't know where this like idea, or like not this idea, but like this pressure comes from. I think we all kind of do it to ourselves that like once you start something, like you can't change your mind or like deviate from that. Like we kind of have a tendency, or at least I have a tendency to like tie myself to any new venture that I'm doing of like, this has got to, like this has to work, whether it be your haircut or a business or a podcast or whatever it is. But like so many successful people that you see, like their first idea was not the idea that they're known for. Their first idea was not the idea that hit. They try and fail and change their minds and deviate drastically from what they were originally going to do before they eventually like settle on the thing that like actually makes them successful. So again, like just putting one foot in front of the other, like I don't get me wrong, I'm so stoked about Good Company and like everything that we're doing, and I genuinely believe we're on the right path. But I've said it to Paul, I've said it to my wife, like if it failed tomorrow and everything like fell apart tomorrow, it would all be worth it. Just from the like experiences and like everything I've learned, the people that I've met, the community that like we've begun to build here. It's like,
Yeah.
if I were to deviate or change paths tomorrow, like I would not regret this one bit.
It's a good perspective to have.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get there, but we got there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang. I like that, man. That was really good stuff.
Yeah.
I do have to ask you, what's your favorite thing to cook in the kitchen?
Dude, pasta, hands down.
Yeah.
All kinds.
All kinds?
Yeah. I love Italian cooking because like I'm not like a trained chef or a trained cook necessarily. Like everything I've taught myself by reading cookbooks and like watching videos online. And Italian cooking speaks to me because I'm not like the X's and O's guy. I'm not like gonna follow a recipe. I will loosely, but like I like to use my senses and use emotion and like whether it's
Channeling your inner ratatouille, like.
yeah. Now, whether it's cutting hair or cooking, like whether it's cutting hair or cooking, like I do everything based on just like touch, feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so Italian cooking is definitely that way. You use your senses and you use what you got and you just do it.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Top 3 restaurants in Des Moines.
Top 3 in no particular order though. Damn, really put me on the spot. Harbinger is great. Love Harbinger. Aposto's awesome. Love Aposto. And then Clyde's Fine Diner. Clyde's is great. It's like the best of both worlds at Clyde's. Have you been?
I have. Yeah.
Have you?
How years ago?
Yeah, once.
Better Smash Burger in Des Moines.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm over the shows.
No hate on the shells.
You don't like it?
No, I love it. And Lachelle's is great. So is Lula. They all have great burgers, but Clyde's takes the cake, man. It's the best.
What about Clyde's?
I think, and I don't know what it is, but I think it's like the raw onions. Whereas like a lot of smash burgers, it's like caramelized onion, which is, I love caramelized onions. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's all about the raw onion on the burger. It's like McDonald's if McDonald's were like actually good.
Yeah.
I hate to compare them to McDonald's, but it is the onion.
It's like the basis. It's just plastic.
Yeah, it's the small like little onions. And the cheese, like just they just crush it.
Something I noticed about their burger when I was there was like the bun was so like pristine.
Yeah.
Like if I remember correctly, I think they like
Brioche.
cut it. Yeah, they like cut it down the middle, and I remember looking at it, and it just looked like there was no dents in it. There was nothing. Like it was just perfectly like, you know.
Yeah.
You could like press on it, and it kind of like
You
hack up. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go.
Yeah.
Farm before the meetup,
Maybe. Yeah. Or after.
Dude, I'd be down for after.
It's just like a rad place too. It's super cool. Like it's the best of both worlds between like you can get really quality food that's like very intentional. Like their menu is like very intentional. It's like legit. But it also is like got that small old school like grassroots like diner feel to it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what night it is, but they have a special and I don't know the price, but it's like a shot of like cheap whiskey, a PBR, and like a burger and fries. It's like their special.
Yeah.
It's like such a classic. Like that's awesome. I love that they like still maintain that.
Yeah.
But
That's the Midwest for you.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's dope.
Dang. Well, thank you for being on.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun, man.
For sure.
Hopefully the lighting didn't like change on us too much.
It might have gotten a little brighter, but
How long did it go?
Maybe an hour? Maybe.
Dude, that's crazy.
Time flies when you're sitting in the chair tower.
That's wild.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it always blows my mind how fast like these conversations go by, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, now I see how all these like podcasts were run for 3.5 hours. I'm always like, how do they do it?
Real.
And then this felt like 20 minutes tops.
Do you listen to any podcasts, by the way?
That's all I listen to is podcasts.
Like what? What are some of your go-tos?
Oh, dude. I'm going to sound like such a Rogan fanboy, but JRE, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But I like, so I have a 25-minute commute each way. So I can hammer out like,
Where do you live? Like Adela? Yeah.
it's like West Waukee, so down here. But Yeah, JRA, I can like hammer out an episode in like 3 days. And you can just jump right back in.
Yeah.
And that's great. A ton of comedy podcasts. You know, you guys listen to Stand Up? Shane Gillis. Matt and Shane Secret Podcast is great. Love that one. YMH. You know YMH? You know Tom Segura?
Yeah.
It's him and his wife, Christina, because they're both comedians. Yeah, the hilarious podcast. Emily and I, my wife and I, like we watch it religiously every we're subscribed, so we get it a day early because we couldn't wait till Wednesday anymore.
Nice. That's hilarious. So do you watch it or listen?
That one I watch. JRE I almost exclusively listen to unless it's like a Protect Our Parks or like one of those where it's like kind of a fun kind of hang more than a podcast.
Yeah.
But YMH, I watch it because they play like clips and stuff, and you just listening to it, you're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. So I've never listened to a comedy podcast, but are you just like laughing the whole time?
Yeah, pretty much. I'll
They think like bits, but also they talk about like just real stuff. Like they're DMs.
Yeah. I'll do this. People probably think I'm insane. Just driving down the road by myself, laughing, wiping tears from my face, like dying.
So that's awesome.
I used to listen to, congratulations. That's with Chris D'Elia. It's just a monologue because it's just him. Dude, I don't know how you could do a podcast with yourself, but he's just like, his takes on things are just so like, just absurd sometimes where I'm like, you're just like the naturally funny friend. Like,
that's what makes people attracted to that. I think that's why Shane Gillis blew up so much. He's like, everybody has a friend that's like that. Yeah. You know, like the one funny friend, it's like, they're probably not as funny as Shane Gillis, but
yeah,
like he's just relatable. You know, he just is a regular guy.
Yeah. I mean, when someone like that, the friend group just chooses to turn off the filter, he's just like, okay, like you're saying what everyone else is thinking. Yeah. Just funnier.
Yeah, for sure. I love it.
So we end every episode talking about something that has inspired us recently. Who wants to go first?
Dude, a lot of music lately. Like I've been listening to a bunch of new stuff. I found this band called Self-Titled or Little Image, and they had an album that came out like 3 years ago called Self-Titled. It's a good album. But like just a ton of just random big band Camino fan. It released some stuff. This band called Joan. They released something early in the year, but I just found it like 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I've just been listening like on a just find new bands to listen to kick, because sometimes I'm just like, the stuff I listen to can just get repetitive. And so I kind of trained my algorithm like 2 weeks ago where I just started looking for stuff, like you said, like where that was all that was getting fed to me. And I found some killer bands, some killer artists.
Or you guys should start like a public playlist or something.
That'd be killer.
Because I meet new music all the time and I just like freeze up and I don't know what to listen to. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to get little recommendations from you.
Yes. I mean, like, dude, I love alternative, like new age alternative or like punk rock alternative. Like I said,
Turnstile. You into Turnstile at all?
I'd maybe if I knew what that was.
They're awesome.
Turnstile, the band?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was like, is that a
more hardcore, but kind of not? I don't know. They're great.
I'll have to look them up though. But yeah, I mean, like just new bands, old ones, like putting out more stuff that, you know, I'm already going to love. I'm not like a Sleep Token fan, but the stuff that they put out over their newest project is just really, I don't know, it just scratches my brain the right way. So yeah, music lately has been really inspiring.
Nice.
I think for me, it was having Clay design the flyer and then just taking pictures of someone else's design kind of inspired me, because like, you know, being part of Creative's POV, it's easy to just see things like how it is or how it was when we started, and like not have an outsider like show what they see it as. And so that was just a really cool experience just working with clay, getting to tell him, you know, kind of a description of what we're thinking, and then seeing him piece it all together the way he did was like really cool.
Yeah.
So shout out to Clay.
Yes.
Man, for me, I don't. So again, I'm gonna sound like a fanboy here, but there's a Rogan podcast I listened to recently, and I'm gonna botch the guy's name, so I gotta look it up. But where's it at? Robert Rodriguez. You guys know who that is?
Sounds so familiar.
I didn't know who he was, but he's like a film director.
Oh yeah, he's
writer.
yeah.
He did like a bunch of old like action, like Mariachi and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He like the Spy Kids franchise.
He's done a couple Star Wars things too, for like the Mandalorian show and all that.
I did not know that. That's awesome. Yeah, he's on the pod and he's talking about kind of what we were talking about earlier, was just like putting one foot in front of the other and just like starting something before you know. And one thing that he really talked about on that podcast that like really inspired me was I'll just use the example that he used. He was talking about like when he was like early in getting into film, he would meet people and they're like, I'm an aspiring filmmaker. Mm-hmm. And he's like, don't say aspiring, like don't do that to yourself. You're putting yourself in this box and limiting yourself, because if you're an aspiring filmmaker, you're always going to be aspiring to be it. It's like, are you making films? You're a filmmaker. Show up and identify in the world as what you want to be, what you strive for. Don't say aspiring. Like don't. It's like kind of like belittling yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was like super inspiring to me, because to bring it all full circle here with like creatives POV. Back in the day, I always considered myself like a pretty creative person. And somewhere along the line, I kind of deviated from that, because I thought getting into barbering, I was going to like be able to use that as like a creative outlet. And I got into it and I realized like, at least with my clients, like I don't get the freedom to like actually be creative and actually create. Sometimes, like not to knock it, but sometimes it feels like you're kind of just, you're following a system.
Sure.
Of a series of steps to create an outcome. So in a way it's creative, but it didn't like scratch that itch, you know? And when he said like, don't say you're aspiring, like I aspire to be more creative and like show up in the world that way. And so like, I kind of gaslight myself sometimes, well, partially because I'm surrounded by such like talented, creative people all the time that like you compare yourself to that. Mm-hmm. And, rather than like gaslighting myself and being like, oh, you're not that creative. It's like, no, this is how I want to show up in the world. Like I am this way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like, I'm trying to get there. I'm not there yet, but I'm trying to get there. So yeah, that's Spain.
Spanish, man. There's a lot of good stuff from this episode, bro. Like I can't wait to go back and listen to all this.
Yeah.
But yeah, you killed it, by the way. You said how like you didn't want to like know any questions. You just wanted to like not think about it all day. Yeah. Bro, like you're speaking like you should be on the Joe Rogan podcast. Yeah, dude, appreciate you.
Bring it on, dude.
Thank you.
Good time.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
This has been the Careers POV podcast. See you next time.
Nice.
Let's go. Real set.
Dude, that was sweet.